Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Today we're going to be doing this oval mold. And before we get into that, I just want to share with you some of the ideas I had for these ribbons that, or I should call them bows, right? That we had made in the previous video. I was able to very carefully, using one of my manual drills, to drill into, and I'm going to need to point out again, this piece of the bow, ribbon, whatever it's a bow, Natalie, into the bow, and using a pair of needle nose pliers, I was able to screw that in here to hold it. So this is one way you could attach a ribbon or a string or whatever you have to this in order to hang it off of something. And I was curious to know if I could do that. It takes a little bit of patience, but totally doable. Another thing I did was I put one of these pins on the back of it. So this just comes off. So you could put this on, and I'm thinking if I were going to wear this, I would put it on a sweater, like a really bulky sweater, a winter coat, something that's got a little bit of substance behind it. I wouldn't necessarily wear it on a shirt or a t-shirt or something like that, but you could. I just thought if I were going to wear it on something, I would put it on something that's like thicker in texture and whatnot. So and what I used was the Let's Resin UV bond that they have out and the light that comes with it. Unfortunately, my light has batteries in it, but as I understand, the newer one actually comes with a plug-in, so you can charge it up and whatnot. So there's that idea. The other thing I did was I threw a magnet onto the back of it, so you could put this on your fridge. I'm trying to think, obviously anywhere that you could put a magnet, right? So I wanted to do those three different things up. I'm sure there's many other things. I had some people mention, someone had suggested about putting it on a present. So you could do that. And two, what you could do, depending on what color you used and whether you had metallic markers that would write on resin, is if you were giving this to someone, you could do your to on this side and your from on this side, or just, the person's name on it. There's options available on that as well. I just thought it would be fun to do these up with a couple of different things, just to give you some ideas in case you were interested. So there we have it. I'm actually very happy that I can do this. And I'm thinking, so I put gold on this one. I think I have silver. And I think it'd be really, really cool if you could get them in different colors, because depending on what you were doing, then it would blend in. Because if this was purple, if that screw-in was purple, then it would blend in really nicely with the bow itself. Anyways. Just some suggestions, thoughts for you. Now, getting on to our project, you'll notice I already have one of these done. I was playing around because I had gone into Michael's, and I've mentioned before, they are starting to sell some things off, right? They've got some products in their stock that they are discontinuing, I'm guessing. They're putting it on clearance. I have to think that they're going to be bringing some other stuff in. So I saw this. Now, you've seen me use the single of these units. I think there's 3 that I've got. And they range in size from something I think that's a little bit bigger than, this round. And they go up from there. Now, these, what did I pay for these? I think I paid $5 for these. I can't remember. But I have been, when I go into Michael's, which isn't as much anymore, I've sort of gotten away from wanting to buy things, or as much as I used to buy anyway. But every once in a while I do go in and I start sort of wandering around just because I want to see what they're getting rid of. I want to see what some of the new stuff they are bringing in. And sometimes it's easier just to go into the store. So these are the other 2 that came with it. Okay, you're going to, as you see me place these there, you know where I'm going with this. Anyway, we have that one, which is a figure 8 as such, and then these 3, which is kind of an interesting idea. And I had looked at them before, and the fact that I do paint pours, which I was doing all kinds of them and then sort of backed off from them. I'm thinking this will be kind of cool, and I'd like to see about doing some paint pours, just to see how well these work with paint versus what we're going to do today. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. I got something else as well, but I'm not sure it's going to be something that I can potentially use for this type of work. Okay, I used this yesterday in my world. So this is what the bottom ended up looking like, and obviously I'm going to have to sand that down and clean it up because there's too much of the ink on the bottom of this. I don't like it. The sides are okay. I don't have a problem with that. But the top didn't really come out the way I had hoped it was going to come out. So I'm kind of hoping when we do this today together that we can get more of a design. So what is happening up here is really what I was looking for. That's sort of the design I wanted to have, but I wanted to have it throughout the entire top of it. Now, I will say that when I did this, I started out with white. So all I did was I mixed up my Mix2Mold. I left it pure white. I didn't add anything to it. And all I was doing was dropping the colors into here and then pouring the white over top of it. And it was truly my expectation that as I did that, and it looks, as you'll see, it looks really cool when you're doing it because it sort of does give you that, that look. I think because I started with the white and then did drops of the color, that's why I've got more of the white on the top than I do of the actual color. We're going to switch that up a little bit today with the one we do, and we're going to do some of the color first and then pour the white over top of it. The other thing I did, which may or may not have been a good idea, is because of what I was trying to do with getting color to go where I wanted it to go, I lifted my Mix2Mold up. So I had it up higher and you can't see. So before I'd started and I was doing it this way, and then I lifted it up because I was hoping, I thought I would be able to spread out the color and we'd get more design. I'm learning, and I'm sure anyone else who's working with the Mix2Mold, is the white will take over. It's sort of like resin in some ways, where you think you're going in one direction and then it totally decides on another direction. We're going to see what we can do today with trying to get more of a design on the bottom. Now, an advantage to having the negative space is then you can do something with it. You could put a tattoo on it. You could do get a paste through a stencil and decorate it up that way. You could just leave it and say, you know, this is totally cool. Me, I'm looking for more of a design. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. And as I say, and as I know, well, ceramic resin, like resin, has a mind of its own. But anyway, I thought I'd show you what I had attempted to do. And this has been sitting overnight. I'm not really expecting any more of the color to come through that. And in some ways, I mean, you may look at that and think that's kind of neat that you can sort of, it's like a shadow of it that you can see in it. I, again, want to get a little bit more. I have 180 mils of the ceramic resin. Here's my mold. Now, because I have so many of these now, how many have I got of these? Well, I have 3 for sure, probably 4. And I figure what I can do and have this one as a Mix2Mold ceramic resin mold, so I don't have to clean out. Now I do have a little bit of black on the side. I'm going to get rid of that. But you will still want to clean these out, even if you are using it for ceramic resin. And I really don't, like in some ways I don't need to clean this because I'm going to use a little bit of black. I don't think I'm going to put as much black in this as I did in the original one. I just thought it would add some nice contrast to the piece. I did wash this out. You may think, Natalie, you should have washed it out. And actually, technically, I did. Some of it is right into the mold now. I don't know that. Well, let's see if we can get that. Yeah, yes, it's bringing some of it off, but I'm not sure. And maybe if I put some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, I might get a little bit more off of it, but not a big deal. And if it picks up some of that color, I'm not really too bothered by that either. Okay, What we're going to do this time is we're going to again mix up the white, leave it white, because I struggle mixing it in and getting it, like if you just want to swirl it in, it seems just to still sit in one spot. We'll mix that up. We're going to put this in, but I'm going to put some of the color, some drops of the color in first and see if that won't make a difference for us, and hopefully not muddy the waters too much. All right, and as usual, I have my water ready and to put in here as well. I also have some extra water if I need it. I shouldn't though, because I'm adding the pigment to it as well. So we'll do this and then we'll see how we make out. And again, it's really important when you're mixing this stuff that you make sure you get all the stuff mixed up so you don't end up with clumps. I ended up with a bit of some clumping when I was working with it yesterday. I do really like these. I'll call it a beater. I really like these things. And I picked, when I'm doing really big batches, I have a whisk. That's what they are, a whisk. Yeah, it's so fun when the words actually come to me. And I tried not to have one of my freak out sessions with, am I getting it all mixed? And, you know, have I got enough time? I dislike when that happens, when I get freaked out by, oh, it's going to set up. And if you've seen any of my earlier videos, you know that's exactly what I was doing. All right. And I just have off to the side so I can put, if I need to, this, I can put off to the side when we're done with this. All right, so let's start with a swig. We'll do a purple. I'll try to get my hands out of the way, eh? And a green, and a green. And then we'll pour it closer to the bottom of this. And again, I don't know if this is going to, work out sort of the way I want it to. I want some design to it. I want something fun. You know what? I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to do a splotch of black here and a splotch of black there and see what happens in the grand scheme of things. And I want to try and keep it. Yeah, this probably isn't going to do much of anything, is it? I guess I should have reversed that. And I also noticed so it was funny, and I don't know how well you can see it, but see what the green and the purple are doing. They're sort of, put it lower. They're doing some funky things. And I mixed I shook them up before, because you're supposed to. They say shake well. Let's do the purple here. They say you're supposed to shake these up really well, which I did. And I think I'm going to put a black just on top of that and a black on top of that. And I'm not using a lot, so you may think that I'm using too much, but I'm not really, or I don't feel like I am. Pour a little bit more. And I don't know if the depth of this has something to do with the fact that I'm losing my design. Okay, we've got a little bit left, so let's do the green. We'll just do green here and green here. And then we'll just throw what's left. Oh, it's starting to set up a little bit. And same spot I had it yesterday too. All right, let's get the rest of that in there. Try not to, it's so tempting just to keep it up high. All right. All right, we won't do anything more with that. There's not much left. And then very carefully taking it out. Okay, so that's what we're left with right now. I'm hoping that we get some sort of design, hopefully on this side of it this time, instead of it being, well, it won't, I don't think it's going to be as dark as that because I don't have as much black in it this time. And I didn't swirl that at all yesterday because if I get the design I want, I'm not going to mess with it by, swirling it. So we're not going to be touching this at all. We're going to let this set up for an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, because with this design that it is, like this mold, we don't really have to worry too much about it breaking. I won't take it out after half hour, but 45 minutes to an hour, we will get this out and, see what kind of design we have. And I am glad I didn't put as much black in it this time, nor am I hitting it. I didn't hit it yesterday on the sides. Sometimes to make sure we don't get any air bubbles, I'll hit it, but I wasn't pouring it in fast enough. And the one air bubble I did see, it disappeared. We'll leave it. We'll come back 45 minutes to an hour and we will see. And the other thing, just before I cut off here, is I am wondering if this stuff has been sitting too long, and that is part of the reason I'm getting what looks like flakes of the pigment ink in my pieces. So I think that's a possibility as well. I haven't used this, I haven't been using it fast enough. Anyway, see you in an hour. It has been almost an hour since we poured this piece, so that's cool. We're going to put this off just to the side for a moment. This is the one that I had done previously. All I wanted to do was show you the back of it. I actually took it out to my garage and I sanded down. Now I got most of the black off, and that sort of wasn't my intention. I really just wanted to clean it up because I knew some of the coloring was too dark. I didn't take it all off, but I did get it down to you being able to see that at least on the bottom of it, we got some of the design I was aiming for, that's cool to see. But I wanted to show that to you. And maybe, again, I am going way, way, way back on this now, but I do have product here that I've been wanting to try out. So maybe that might be in an upcoming video where we do these two pieces with different product and see how they turn out. Anyway, we'll put that aside for right now. Let's get this one out and see how we fared. It's nice that they come out of these molds so easily. All right. Okay, well, a little bit better, but still, I'm not capturing what I want to with these two pieces as far as trying to get the design to come out. This one's a little nicer because you can see a little more color on the bottom and spread out a little bit more, but not too totally different. This one, obviously, as you can see, has more color around the outside than this one. Again, I think I'm going to have to figure something out to decorate it up a little bit more so it doesn't look so... I don't really like all the negative space that I'm seeing on it. So I'm going to see what I have or what I could maybe do to, fill it in a little bit more. And then, as I've done in the past, again, we can seal this with, around the outside and the bottom with something. I think if I were going to put something on in here, I'm going to put a resin coat over top of it. So you're going to have to leave that with me for me to see what I want to do. I think it's kind of interesting how in using this, we're not really getting the design I was truly hoping for in these. And I don't really know what to say to that. And the only thing that maybe comes to mind is if we were to do this in stages, which I don't really like doing with the Mix2Mold, because we know how if we pour one layer of it and then do another, it doesn't really... It doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't set up the way you want it to, but it seems to soak too much into the layer before, and then you don't get a smooth, level layer, which is something I like having. yeah, so I'm not going to make a third one, but I really had hoped I'd get more of a design with it. That's sort of what I'm hoping for. And what we might have to do is, as much as this isn't a paint pour video YouTube channel, we might do that. I might make up some, because like I say, it's been a long time since I've done a paint pour, and it might be interesting to see how paint would work. But granted, if we do that, we'll be doing it on a canvas, and the canvas, you're only doing a really, I'll say, a thin layer on it to get the design you're looking for. And that may be why I'm running into an issue here, is because I'm attempting to do something bigger and thicker than what would be normally done with a paint pour. Anywho, this is where we're going to end it. And if I do any more experimenting with this and I figure something out, I will most definitely share that with you. Right now, the only idea, and the only idea I'm having right now, as I'm sitting here, chatting with you, is if I were to do a very thin layer of a paint pour in here. So if we were to pick colors that complement specifically more the green and the purple, not so much the black, and then did a paint pour within it. That's an option for us, is to do an actual paint pour within the piece itself. So that is an option. And I would expect, or I wouldn't expect it to bubble or go uneven like it does, but it might, unless I let these sit for a good couple of days and then give that a go. It's an option. I mean, maybe we need to give that a go, is to make them, maybe with some color in them, and then do a paint pour. So I'm not adverse to doing that. That might be a kind of a cool idea. And we'll do just enough, and then we can tip it, which we would do normally with the paint pour. Well, we haven't done that, have we? So maybe that's what we'll do with these two pieces to finish them off. And again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. We don't have to completely cover all of this up. And then once that had set up, is then to put a resin coat over top of it. So I'm game for that. Leave it with me, and because of that, I might actually make a third one of these, and then we could do a set of 3 and see how they come out. Anyway, leave your comments below if you have any sort of really cool ideas on how we can, make the most out of this and get a design that we want. And I'm going to go back to the drawing board and potentially think about doing a paint pour on these, just to see if we can't get something unique out of it using colors that are similar, or at least complement them. Thank you again for watching this video, for showing up, for liking, subscribing, and checking out my Being Intentionally Creative page. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.